The room charge appears on my phone before I make it through the hotel lobby. Harbor House Hotel. $287.16. For one stupid second, I think Grant paid. Then I see the last 4 digits and recognize my own card. Behind me, the automatic doors close on the rain. 20 minutes earlier, Grant's sister had stood in my dining room with her phone in her hand and said, "Harbor House has rooms. Claire can stay there tonight." Grant had looked at the screen while she booked it. "Get her a king," he'd said. "At least she'll be comfortable." They were still eating our engagement dinner beneath my glass roof when I left. Brooke had called it a family test. Lorraine had called it a chance for me to show grace. Now they had charged my humiliation to my card. I stare at the transaction until the desk clerk says, "Ms. Mercer." She's holding out a key sleeve. She has silver eyeshadow and the careful expression of someone who knows a guest has been crying but intends to preserve everyone's dignity. "Sorry." I take it. Long night. Elevators are around the corner. Ice is on 6 and 8. I'm on 7. She gives me a small, sympathetic smile. "Yes." My overnight bag slips off my shoulder. Grant packed it for me. I watched him take my blue toothbrush from the upstairs bathroom and fold my gray sweater into the bag as if he were helping me catch an early flight. I want to call him and ask how Brooke got my card. Instead, I open my banking app and lock it. The app warns me that recurring transactions may still be processed. I confirm anyway. Then I stand beneath a chandelier made of little smoked glass raindrops and wonder what, exactly, my fiancé believes he is protecting right now. The evening had begun with Lorraine bringing 6 extra chairs. She arrived at 5:30, an hour before our engagement dinner, in a red raincoat and pearl earrings, with 2 folding chairs under one arm and Grant's cousin, Neil, carrying 4 more behind her. "I found them in the church basement," she said. "Don't worry, I wiped them." I looked from the chairs to Grant. He was tying an apron around his waist. "A few people got added." "How many is a few?" Lorraine kissed my cheek. Her lipstick felt waxy. "You'll give yourself lines if you make that face every time you're surprised." Brooke came through the front door without knocking, carrying 3 aluminum catering pans stacked to her chin. She pushed the door shut with her heel. "Where do you want the chicken?" "The refrigerator," Lorraine said. "Which refrigerator?" I laughed because I assumed she was kidding. Brooke did not laugh. "Garage?" "There's only one refrigerator," I said. She looked at Grant. "You said the garage fridge was running." I said we'd talked about putting one out there. Lorraine took off her raincoat and draped it over the back of my cream sofa. "This is why I like to arrive early. We solve problems." The dinner was supposed to be 12 people. Grant and me, Lorraine, Brooke, 2 couples we both knew, and a handful of Grant's relatives. I had ordered flowers from a local shop I used for corporate events, rented linen napkins, and spent my lunch break placing handwritten cards around the table in the glass dining room. The room was the reason I had bought the house from my aunt's estate 6 years earlier. It had once been a side porch. Sometime in the 70s, someone enclosed it with narrow black-framed windows and a sloping glass roof that amplified rain until ordinary weather sounded theatrical. Aunt Vivian had hung old green glass key fobs on brass hooks beside the kitchen door. Each was the size of a poker chip, with a number etched into it. She claimed they came from a hotel that had burned down before either of us was born. After I moved in, I attached them to the spare house keys. Grant got number 8 when he moved in. That evening, the hooks were empty. I noticed while Brooke was wedging the chicken pans into my refrigerator. "Where are the key rings?" She leaned back and shut the door with her hip. "What key rings?" "The green glass ones." "Oh, Mom used them on the tables." I found Lorraine in the dining room setting a fob on top of each folded napkin. She had removed my place cards. In their place were small cream menus printed with Holloway Table in gold. "What is Holloway Table?" I asked. Lorraine smoothed one of the cards. "It's the new catering name. Brooke's old name sounded like a food truck." "My old name was Brooke Holloway Catering," Brooke called from the kitchen. "Exactly." I picked up the fob marked 12. The spare key to the back door was still attached. "Lorraine, these aren't decorations." "Don't they look pretty with the glass ceiling?" "They're house keys." She blinked at the brass key dangling from my hand, then laughed. "Well, nobody's going to steal the house." Grant walked in carrying wine. "Actually, Mom, Claire's weird about the keys. I'm not weird about them. They open my doors." He gave me an apologetic look, but it was aimed in the general direction of the room meant for everyone. That's what I mean. I collected the fobs before the guests arrived. There were 9 on the table. I owned 6 keys. When I asked Lorraine why there were 3 extras, she said she had found them in a kitchen drawer. I had never kept them in a drawer. By 6:45, 27 people were in my house. A restaurant manager Lorraine knew stood at the kitchen island eating goat cheese with my butter knife. 2 women from a wedding venue wandered through the dining room taking pictures of the table. Someone moved my ficus to the laundry room and put a portable banner in its place. The banner said, "Holloway Table, your family at our table." "Is this an engagement dinner or a launch party?" I asked Grant. He was opening wine at the sink. He glanced toward Lorraine, who was describing her braised chicken to a man in a blue blazer. "It can be both." "You told me she wanted to make a toast." "She does. To us." He pulled the cork. "Eventually." Grant was good at making a bad answer sound temporary. He had a soft voice, a crooked smile, and a habit of rubbing the back of my neck, while he explained why something mattered less than it seemed. Early in our relationship, that steadiness felt like safety. He could get a refund from an airline without raising his voice. He could talk Lorraine out of repainting his apartment while he was away. He once spent 40 minutes helping an elderly man find his car in an airport garage. He set the bottle down and touched my elbow. "Let her have tonight," he said. "She's excited." "So am I." "I know. Do you?" His hand fell away. "Please don't start at a 10. I went upstairs because I wanted 30 seconds without somebody asking where I kept serving spoons. Our bedroom door was open. Lorraine's red raincoat lay across the bed now, and 2 cardboard boxes sat beside Grant's dresser. One was labeled business records. The other was full of white chef coats embroidered with the new company name. I carried both boxes downstairs. Brooke intercepted me in the hall. "Hey, careful, the folders aren't in order." "Why are business records in my bedroom?" There was nowhere else dry. "The office is dry." It was locked. "Yes." She took the boxes from me. "Mom said upstairs would be fine. Mom doesn't live here." Brooke's mouth tightened. She was 5 years older than Grant and shared his dark eyes, but none of his ability to soften a sentence. "She's trying to make tonight special for you." By storing tax documents under my underwear? They're licensing forms. That makes it much better. Brooke shifted the boxes against her hip. For an instant, she looked exhausted rather than angry. There was flour on the sleeve of her green dress. "Could we just get through dinner?" she asked quietly. "The venue people came because they might give us preferred vendor status. That account could keep us busy through winter." "Then you should have told me they were coming." "I thought Grant did." We both looked toward the kitchen. Grant was laughing with Neil, a hand on Neil's shoulder, pouring wine into my good glasses. Dinner began at 7:30. Lorraine seated me halfway down the table because, she said, the restaurant manager needed to be close enough to hear her presentation. Grant sat across from me instead of beside me. The rain strengthened, tapping the roof while Lorraine explained her sample packages. Guests passed chicken and rosemary potatoes. A man I had never met asked whether the room was available for private dining. "No," I said. Lorraine said, "We're exploring options." I set down my fork. "We aren't." The conversation around us thinned. Lorraine smiled without showing her teeth. "Claire works in corporate event operations. She's very protective of her spaces." "This is my home." "Of course it is. That's why it has warmth." The restaurant manager looked at his plate. Grant said, "Can we table the business discussion?" Lorraine's gaze moved to him. "Your fiancé invited me to host dinner." "I invited you to help with dinner," I said. Brooke gave a short laugh. "Those are different departments in this family." A few people smiled. Lorraine didn't. She lifted her wine glass. Fine, let's talk about family. That should have been the toast. Instead, Lorraine told the table that marriage was not two people hiding behind a locked door. Marriage, she said, was joining a structure that had existed before you arrived. A strong family tests its doors, she said. It learns which ones open and which ones have been locked out of fear. Her eyes flicked toward the kitchen hooks. I felt Grant go still across from me. Lorraine continued, Claire values independence. We value participation. Neither is wrong, but only one builds trust. Lorraine, I said, did you make copies of my keys? Neil coughed into his napkin. Brooke stared down at her plate. Grant said, this isn't the time. That's not a no. Lorraine put down her glass. I had 2 practical copies made, one for me and one for Brooke. Food deliveries come when you're at work, and Grant can't always leave the office. I looked at him. You knew? He rubbed his thumb against the stem of his glass. That was his tell. He did it when he wanted time to invent a version of the truth that would offend the fewest people. I knew Mom had one made for emergencies. One? I didn't know about Brooke's. Brooke looked up. You handed it to me last Tuesday. Silence landed hard enough that I heard water moving through the gutters. Grant's face changed. Not much. A small collapse around the mouth. I forgot, he said. Lorraine leaned back. And this reaction is why we didn't make it a production. You copied keys to my house because you knew I would say no. We copied keys because this family cannot function around your constant permissions. My permissions? Everything is a negotiation with you. A shelf in the garage, a delivery at the door, one dinner in a room you barely use. I use this room every day. For what? For living in my house. The restaurant manager stood and said he should beat the weather. 2 other guests immediately discovered reasons to help him. Grant came around the table. Claire, come into the kitchen. No. Tell your mother to give me the keys. She will. Lorraine folded her napkin. When you can ask without performing. I don't remember deciding to pick up the portable banner. I remember its metal base being heavier than it looked. I carried it through the kitchen, opened the back door, and set it on the covered step in the rain mist. Behind me, Lorraine said, That was expensive. Then take it with you. Brooke followed me into the kitchen. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Give me your copy. It's at my apartment. Leave. Claire, Grant warned. I turned to him. You gave out keys to my house. Our house. The words seemed to surprise even him. I stared at the man I was supposed to marry in 11 weeks. Grant glanced toward the dining room where his mother sat beneath the glass roof at the head of my table. Brooke, he said, find Claire a hotel for tonight. My room smells faintly of lemon cleaner and overheated carpet. I set my overnight bag on the luggage rack and take out the things Grant packed. Sweater, toothbrush, phone charger, black slacks, one running shoe. Only one. A laugh escapes me before I can stop it. I sit on the edge of the bed holding the shoe, laughing until the sound folds in on itself. My phone buzzes. Not Grant. An email from Harbor House welcomes me to the Holloway Table corporate hospitality account. I almost delete it. Then I see the attachment labeled Updated Master Folio. The first page lists tonight's room. Beneath it are 7 future reservations, including my wedding block. The guaranteed payment method ends in my 4 digits. At the bottom is an electronic signature, mine. The signature is an image taken from my wedding contract. It includes the slight upward slash at the end of the R in Mercer. The one Grant once said made my name look as if it were trying to escape the page. I zoom in until the letters blur. Above it, a checked box says, I authorize Harbor House to use my card for room, tax, incidentals, food and beverage, damages, and related services associated with the Holloway Table Master account. The authorization date is 3 weeks ago. I call the front desk. The woman with the silver eyeshadow answers. Her name is Jasmine. I know because I can see her across the lobby, one hand lifting the phone while she slides a key sleeve toward a man in a camel coat. This is Claire Mercer, in 712, I say. I received a master folio that has reservations I didn't make. Her eyes rise and find me through the open doorway of the lobby. One moment, please. Soft piano music replaces her voice. I open the attachment again. The reservations have short internal notes: vendor suite, Lorraine tasting, B, Holloway site visit, Mercer Holloway wedding, Sunday recovery brunch. The brunch guarantees 80 guests at $62 per person. Grant and I had discussed coffee and pastries for immediate family. I had put $600 in our wedding budget. The contract on my screen estimates $5,800 before service fees. Jasmine comes back. Ms. Mercer, our group sales office manages that account. They're closed for the evening. Who opened it? I'm afraid I can't see that from my screen. Can you see who booked this room? A pause. The reservation was entered through the corporate portal. By Brooke Holloway? Another pause, longer this time. There is a contact email associated with the booking, and you can't tell me whose. I can have a manager call you in the morning. What happens if I dispute tonight's charge? Jasmine's face tightens across the lobby. She turns slightly, offering me her profile. You are checked into the room, she says softly. I know. I'm standing 10 yards away. I mean, the charge for tonight may still be considered valid because you accepted the accommodation. The absurdity is so clean, it steadies me. So if somebody uses my card to remove me from my own engagement dinner, checking in makes it my purchase. I'm not saying that. No, sorry, I know you're not. She exhales. I can add a note that you contest the payment authorization. I can also remove charging privileges from this room so nothing else goes to the card. Please do that. Would you like to pay with a different card? The first one is mine too. That seems important, though I can't explain why. Yes, I say. I'll come down. My phone lights up with Grant's name as I approach the desk. I let it ring. Jasmine replaces the card on the room and prints a receipt. When she hands it over, she keeps her voice low. The group sales director is Naomi Patel. She'll be here at 8:30. Thank you. And Ms. Mercer, the automatic folio email usually goes out when there's new activity on a master account. That may be why you received it tonight. I fold the receipt in half. Because Brooke charged the room. That would be my guess. By the time I return upstairs, Grant has called 3 times and sent 6 texts. Please answer. Everybody is leaving. Mom gave me her key. Brooke says she doesn't have hers here. I know this was bad. Please don't freeze the card. Brooke is trying to reverse the hotel charge. The last message is the one that gets me. I call him. He answers before the first ring finishes. Claire. Why shouldn't I freeze the card? I didn't say you shouldn't. I said Brooke is fixing it. You literally said, please don't freeze the card. Because if she reverses the charge while it's frozen, I don't know if it'll go through. That isn't how refunds work. I don't know how it works. I'm trying to solve the immediate problem. In 11 weeks, you're planning to marry a woman you just sent out of her own house. I didn't send you out. I look at the hotel bed, the single shoe on the carpet, the deadbolt on a door that isn't mine. You told Brooke to find me a hotel because you and Mom were escalating. Your mother made keys to my house. I know. You gave one to Brooke. I forgot I had. How do you forget giving someone a key? Because she needed to let in a delivery. It was one afternoon, Claire. Did you forget to ask me that afternoon, too? He goes quiet. There are voices behind him, cabinet doors closing. Brooke says something I can't make out. Are they still there? They're cleaning. Tell them to leave. They are leaving. Now, Grant, do you want me to throw trays of food into the yard? I want your family out of my house. His voice drops. Can you stop saying it like that? Like what? Your house, your card, your dining room. I live there. You live there because I invited you. That didn't turn everything I own into a supply closet for Lorraine. I pay bills. You transfer half the utilities. And I buy groceries. I fix things. I put time into that place. That place. A calmness settles over me that frightens me more than anger did. Did you put my signature on a Harbor House card authorization? The voices behind him stop. Grant says, "What?" "The corporate account for Holloway Table. My wedding contract signature is on a master authorization. I don't know anything about a corporate account. It has the wedding block, vendor suites, your mother's tasting, and a brunch for 80 people. I knew about the brunch. Of course you did. It was supposed to be a surprise. A $5,000 surprise on my credit card. Mom said the catering revenue would offset it. There is no catering revenue on my wedding weekend. We're paying for the wedding. Her company was going to handle some events. And pay itself with my card? It's late, we're both angry. Come home and we'll look at it. Who had the signature? What signature? The one from the wedding contract. Claire, I don't know. Brooke's voice comes clearly through the phone. Tell her I used the PDF. Grant says, Brooke, stop. My hand closes around the folded receipt. Put her on. Tomorrow. Put Brooke on the phone. There's a rustle. Then Brooke says, I didn't forge your signature. What do you call putting my signature on a document I never saw? It's the hotel's same authorization form. We already had your approval for the wedding block. You had my approval for my wedding block. Naomi said one master account was cleaner. You spoke to Naomi? At the hotel, yes. Lorraine did a tasting there in May. It takes me a moment. You mean the tasting I arranged for the wedding? We stayed after. She liked our food. My card is frozen. Okay, but the linens are processing tonight. I don't care. You will care when your wedding tables don't have linens. My wedding linens are contracted through Belle Pine. These are for the showcase. Then use your card. Brooke makes an aggravated sound. It's at its limit until Friday. The honesty of it surprises both of us. Grant takes the phone back. Claire, nobody was trying to steal from you. Then why did you hide it? We were going to tell you once it was organized. I hang up. At 10:42, the banking app reports a declined charge from a rental company for $1,900. At 11:14, another charge for $460 fails at a commercial sign printer. I screenshot both. I lie down fully dressed and place the single running shoe on the nightstand beside me, as if the other one might come looking for it. At 8:20 the next morning, Naomi Patel meets me in a small office behind the hotel ballroom. She wears a navy suit and red sneakers, and she has already printed the account history. I want to begin by saying, I'm sorry, she says. This should not have happened. I set my room receipt, the emailed folio, and the screenshots on her desk. How did it happen? She turns the account history toward me. The original master account was mine. I opened it 4 months earlier when Grant and I signed the wedding agreement. The card authorization covered guest rooms assigned to our block only if I individually approved them. My actual signed form has limits, written in my own handwriting. 3 weeks ago, Brooke asked the hotel to rename the account Holloway Table and expand its billing instructions. She sent a new authorization with my signature pasted onto it. Why didn't anyone call me? I ask. Naomi's mouth presses into a line. Because she copied your fiancé on the email and he confirmed the changes. She points to a printed message. Grant's reply is one sentence. Claire and I are aligned. Please proceed. I read it twice. Naomi folds her hands. Mr. Holloway was listed as your secondary wedding contact. My coordinator believed he had authority to confirm. He didn't. I understand that now. You've met me. Yes. You have my email, my phone number. Yes. But he said we were aligned. Her red sneaker taps once beneath the desk, then stills. That was an error in judgment. I should enjoy hearing someone admit it. Instead, I feel tired. What can I remove without canceling the wedding? Naomi takes out a yellow highlighter. We go through the folio line by line. The tasting can be separated. The vendor suites can be canceled with a fee. The brunch is still within its cancellation window. The wedding block can return to its original limits, but the hotel needs a replacement card immediately because mine is now frozen. I have another card. I don't hand it over. What happens if I cancel the wedding? Naomi's expression changes, professional softness replacing professional alarm. The initial deposit is non-refundable. How much remains? She writes a number on a blank page and slides it to me. I know the number. I built the budget. Seeing it alone, without flowers and music and Grant's crooked smile attached, makes it look like the price of a used car. I'm not canceling today, I say. All right. I'm removing every Holloway table charge. I'm also removing Grant as an authorized contact. She marks both changes, then gives me copies to sign. This time, I watch her stamp the pages received. When I turn my phone back on, there are 2 voicemails from Lorraine. I delete the first after she says misunderstanding. In the second, her voice is quieter. You have made your point, Claire. Brooke's linen order was canceled. The printer will not release our sign, and your bank contacted her about attempted charges. Punishing her business because you are upset with Grant is not how an adult resolves a family disagreement. Call me before you do something expensive that cannot be undone. Something expensive that cannot be undone. I save that voicemail. At home, the portable banner is still on the back step, wet along one edge. The dining room smells like chicken fat and wine. Empty glasses cover the table. My place cards are stacked on a windowsill beneath a ring of red wine someone failed to wipe up. The brass hooks beside the kitchen door hold 4 green glass fobs. Number 8 is missing. Grant is asleep on the sofa in his dress shirt, one arm over his eyes. My other running shoe sits on the floor beside him. He wakes when I pick it up. Hey, he says. I put the shoe in my bag. I need you to stay somewhere else. He sits up slowly. This is my home too. Then why was I the one who had to leave it? He looks toward the glass room. The morning is gray and rainwater crawls down the roof in crooked lines. I screwed up, he says. I know that. You told the hotel we were aligned. His face empties. I take the printed email from my bag and place it on the coffee table. He doesn't touch it. Claire, I'm changing the locks at noon. You can't lock me out. Then take what you need before noon and give me the key. His eyes sharpen. Are you ending our engagement? My mouth opens, but nothing comes out. That is the first thing all night that I cannot make myself decide. Grant looks at the printed email as if it might change if he waits long enough. Finally, he says, I thought Brooke was adding the tasting. You thought she was adding 4 hotel suites, a brunch, and a showcase to my card? She didn't tell me the total. You told the hotel to proceed. I was in a meeting. She kept texting me because Naomi's coordinator needed an answer. And you gave her one. I trusted my sister. With my money. With our wedding account. I pick up the email. I don't know if I'm ending the engagement. I know I'm ending this conversation. He follows me upstairs anyway. He packs badly, which is unlike him. Grant normally folds t-shirts with store display precision. Now he drops handfuls of clothes into a suitcase, forgets socks, remembers them, then leaves the suitcase open while he searches for his toiletry bag. I stand in the doorway because I don't trust either of us alone with the moment. Where will you stay? I ask. Neil has a couch. There's a hotel room through 11. He flinches. I'm glad, then ashamed that I'm glad. I canceled the account changes, I say. You're no longer authorized to speak to the hotel for me. He stops with one hand inside a dresser drawer. For the wedding or for everything? Everything. Did you cancel the wedding? No. The relief on his face hurts more than it should. He closes the drawer. Then there's something to work with. I look at the suitcase between us. That isn't what I said. At 11:50, he carries 2 bags downstairs. Before he leaves, he removes the green glass fob marked 8 from his key ring and sets it on the kitchen counter. I didn't make another copy, he says. I didn't ask. I'm telling you. He rubs his thumb against the loose key ring in his palm. There's food everywhere, he says. I can come back and clean. I'll handle it. You shouldn't have to. That almost makes me laugh. No, I shouldn't. He leaves through the front door. The latch catches because the frame swells in wet weather, and for a second he has to fight it. Usually I call out, "Lift while you pull." This time I watch him figure it out. At noon, a locksmith named Thomas replaces the front and back cylinders. He notices the brass hooks while he works. "Hotel keys?" he asks. "Old ones." "Nice glass." "They're why I called you." He nods as though that makes complete sense. After he leaves, I carry the 4 fobs from the kitchen to my desk and line them up beside the Harbor House paperwork. 2, 5, 11, 14. Number 8 remains on the counter downstairs. Lorraine's copy is there, according to Grant. Brooke's is not. 3 others are still missing. I photograph every catering item left in the house. 4 chafing dishes, 2 boxes of chef coats, a portable warming cabinet, 26 wine glasses that aren't mine, business records, a case of printed menus, 1 plastic tub labeled emergency herbs, which contains rosemary, extension cords, and a receipt for the folding chairs from the church. Then I email Brooke an inventory and offer 3 pickup windows. Her reply comes in under a minute. "You don't need to hold our belongings hostage." I type, "I'm offering to return them." 3 dots appear, vanish, then appear again. "Mom says you owe us for the food from last night." I look into my refrigerator. Aluminum trays occupy every shelf. One has a post-it on the lid that says, "Lorraine do not serve," though it was apparently fine to store it in my house. Tell Lorraine she can collect the food too. Brooke chooses Thursday at 6. Lorraine arrives instead. She parks her catering van across the end of my driveway and knocks hard enough to shake the new lock. When I open the door, her gaze drops to the unfamiliar keyway. "You did it," she says. "I told Gran I would." "You changed the locks on his home. He left voluntarily, after being ordered out." I open the door wider, but I don't step aside. Brooke arranged the pickup. Brooke is trying to save her company. "And you're here." "I'm her mother." That's becoming an answer to questions nobody asked. Lorraine's eyes sharpen. She's wearing black pants, practical shoes, and a white catering jacket with Holloway table stitched over her heart. She looks competent. That has always been the dangerous part of her. Lorraine can feed 40 people from a kitchen with 1 working burner and make every plate arrive hot. She can also remember the meanest thing anyone has said to you and rephrase it as concern. "I need the warming cabinet and the chafing dishes," she says. "Everything on the list is ready." "Good. Brooke needs to sign for it." "Don't be childish. I want a record of what leaves. You're creating evidence against people you claim to love." "I'm creating a list." Same instinct, less dramatic word. I call Brooke. She answers on the 4th ring. "Your mother is here." "I know. I offered pickup to you." I sent her. "Then I need an email saying she can sign for the equipment." Lorraine shakes her head slowly, performing disbelief for an audience of 1. Brooke sighs into the phone. "Fine, I'll email." "Thank you." "Claire?" "What?" The warming cabinet has a loose wheel. Don't let her tilt it toward the glass door. Lorraine's head turns. "I can hear you." "Good," Brooke says, and hangs up. We move the equipment without speaking. Lorraine signs my printed inventory with such force the pen tears the paper. When we reach the chef coats, she opens 1 box and counts them. There should be 12. There are 10. There were 12. I photographed the contents Monday. Then Grant has 2. She says his name as if he's a location where missing objects naturally collect. At the door, she pauses beside the portable banner, now dry but warped along one edge. "You ruined this. It got rained on. You put it outside. Take it." She lifts it by the pole. "You think boundaries are the same as kindness because both allow you to feel like a good person." I don't feel like a good person. That stops her. For 1 second, the anger leaves her face. She looks older, not frail, just tired in a way makeup can't fix. "I didn't raise Grant to abandon someone he loves," she says. "You raised him to abandon himself whenever you're unhappy." Her expression closes again. You don't know what it costs to keep our family functioning? No, but I know what you expected it to cost me. She carries the banner to the van. On Friday, Belle Pine calls while I'm at work. My office manages conferences for a regional engineering firm, which means most of my day is spent convincing adults that a dietary deadline is real. I'm reviewing a floor plan when the florist's number appears. "Claire," Celia says, "I wanted to check before I respond to Lorraine." "About what?" "She asked whether your wedding linen credit could be transferred to a corporate dinner." I close my office door. There is no linen credit. That's what I told her. She said the canceled showcase order created one. The showcase order wasn't mine. I figured. She also asked whether we could keep the floral quantities and change the delivery address. To where? Harbor House. I press 2 fingers against my forehead. Do not change anything unless I request it from my work email, I say. Already noted. Celia, if I cancel the wedding, what happens to the deposit? Her voice becomes gentler. We keep the design retainer. The rest depends on how late you cancel. How late is late? Claire. I need the number. 4 weeks before the date. I look at the calendar on my wall. 7 weeks remain. Thank you. Do you want me to put everything on hold? I imagine the cream flowers we chose. The narrow green ribbons around the bouquets, matched to the old glass fobs because Grant said the house should be part of the ceremony, even though we were marrying at the hotel. Yes, I say, put it on hold. Grant asks me to meet him at a coffee shop Sunday morning. He has shaved badly and missed a narrow strip along his jaw. His crooked smile appears when I sit down, but it doesn't reach full strength. I found the missing chef coats, he says. They were in my trunk. That's good. I gave them to Brooke. A barista calls his name. Grant brings me a black coffee and remembers the cinnamon I shake over the top. I scheduled a counseling appointment, he says. For you. For us, if you'll come. For me, if you won't. I stir cinnamon into the coffee. It floats in stubborn brown islands. Grant puts both palms on the table. I've been trying to understand why I said yes to Brooke. You wanted your mother to stop being angry. That's part of it. What's the other part? He looks out the window. I thought you'd come back. From the hotel? From being mad. From all of it. You always come back to the practical thing that has to happen next. You fix the reservation. You remake the seating chart. You find the missing key. That sounds useful. It is useful. He looks at me. It's also something I rely on too much. There he is, the man who can see himself clearly when clarity costs nothing. I told myself sending you away gave everyone time to cool off, he says. But really, I knew you were the person who would leave without destroying the room. I wanted to destroy the room. I know. No, you don't. I wanted to pull the tablecloth and listen to every one of Lorraine's rented plates break. His mouth twitches. Don't smile. I'm sorry. You're still smiling. It's just hard to picture you doing it. That's the problem. The counselor's office has 2 identical gray sofas and a framed photograph of stones balanced on a beach. Grant speaks first. He describes Lorraine as forceful but loving, Brooke as under pressure, and himself as conflict avoidant. When my turn comes, I say, he outsourced conflict to me. Dr. Shaw tilts her head. What does that mean? He didn't avoid it. He selected who had to absorb it. If his mother was upset, I was expected to bend. If I was upset, I was expected to be reasonable. Grant looks down at his hands. Dr. Shaw asks him whether that feels true. Sometimes, he says. Which part doesn't? He thinks. Claire makes it sound calculated. Was it? Dr. Shaw asks. No, I wasn't sitting there thinking, who can I hurt? What were you thinking? That Mom could make the whole night ugly. I say, so you removed me. Grant's eyes fill. He rubs them with the heels of his hands, angry at the tears. I am sorry, he says. I don't know how many ways to say it. For 3 weeks, He does almost everything right. He rents a furnished room instead of staying with Lorraine. He stops asking when he can come home. He returns the garage remote he forgot was clipped inside his car. At counseling, he admits that he gave Lorraine the first copied key months earlier, not for one emergency, but because she said family shouldn't need appointments. I postponed the wedding without canceling it. The hotel moves our date 6 months out and charges a change fee. I pay it from my separate account because the decision is mine. Grant offers half. I refuse, then wonder whether refusing is fairness or control. On Tuesday evening, he comes to the house to repair the damaged dining room baseboard. I let him in and stay while he works. The green fob marked 8 hangs alone on the hook beside the kitchen. He notices. "You kept it there. It's a key ring. It was mine. The number was yours. The key is new." He nods as if I've given him an answer to something else. For an hour, we almost feel ordinary. He fills the dent, sands it smooth, and makes fun of the Holloway table menus still sitting in a recycling bin because pickup day isn't until Friday. Then he leaves without asking for the key. At 9 that night, Naomi calls. "I'm sorry to bother you at home," she says. "I need to clarify the status of next Thursday's tasting." "My tasting?" "The Holloway table showcase." "That was canceled." "Yes, the master account billing was canceled. Mr. Holloway contacted our events coordinator and asked us to preserve the ballroom hold while he arranged replacement payment." I sit down at the kitchen table. "When did he do that?" 2 weeks ago. The week after our first counseling appointment. What did he say? That you were taking space, but the family business shouldn't lose its preferred vendor opportunity over a private disagreement. My eyes move to the green glass number 8. Is the ballroom still held? Through tomorrow at 5. After that, Brooke needs to provide a card. When I call Grant, he answers from his car. "Claire, I can explain." "You keep saying that as if explanations happen after accidents." I was protecting the date, not the event. For Lorraine. For Brooke. She could lose her company. So could anyone whose card she uses without permission. She's trying to pay you back. She hasn't even apologized. She's ashamed. Then she has discovered a private emotion. He sighs. "This is exactly why I didn't mention it until I knew whether the hotel would work with them." "You didn't mention it because you knew my answer." "That doesn't mean your answer should decide whether Brooke survives." There it is again, my no treated as an opening position, my consent as a weather system everyone else has to manage. A message arrives while Grant is still talking. It's from Brooke. "I need to show you what he told us before the dinner." A second message follows. "Please don't call Mom yet." Then my phone begins downloading 43 screenshots. The first screenshot is from a group thread called Holloway Table Internal. Grant, Lorraine, and Brooke are the only members. 3 weeks before the dinner, Brooke wrote, "Harbor House needs Claire to approve the expanded account." Grant replied, "She already approved the wedding account. Not the same thing. Use the authorization she signed. I'll confirm it." Brooke sent a photograph of the blank form. Grant answered, "Her signature is in the wedding PDF. Just keep the limits reasonable until we tell her." I scroll with my thumb pressed so hard against the screen it aches. Lorraine objected to telling me before the engagement dinner. She thought I would reduce the opportunity before seeing its value. Grant suggested waiting until Brooke had projected actual revenue. Then come the messages from the afternoon of the dinner. Lorraine. I added the hotel people and the restaurant manager. This may be a useful test for Claire. If she can welcome them graciously, we'll know she's ready to participate. Brooke. And if she isn't? Grant. I'll handle it. Lorraine. Handling does not mean apologizing for me. Brooke. Harbor House still has rooms, LOL. Grant. Book one if we need it. She'll cool off. The final screenshot was taken after I went upstairs, while Grant was packing my bag. Brooke. Do you really want me to do this? Grant. Yes. Use the corporate portal. It will be faster. Brooke. Her card is attached. Grant. That's fine. I'll pay her back tomorrow. I lower the phone. Grant is still talking in my ear, explaining the hotel hold. I've stopped understanding the words. Claire? You knew Brooke had my signature. Silence. You knew she was using my card. I knew she was setting up the account. You told her to use it for the room. What did she send you? I look at the green fob hanging by the kitchen door. Number 8 turns slowly on its hook because the air conditioner has come on. She sent me you. Claire, those messages look worse without context. There are 43 of them. That's a lot of missing context. Brooke is panicking. Mom told her she has to cover the canceled orders, and now she's trying to spread the blame. That doesn't make the messages fake. No. Did you know Lorraine was bringing those people to dinner? I knew she might invite 2. You helped plan what to do if I objected. I was joking about the hotel. You packed my toothbrush. I thought one night apart was better than everyone screaming. Everyone wasn't screaming. I was asking for my keys. He says my name in the tone he uses when he wants to set something fragile down between us. I love you, he says. I close my eyes. The sentence still reaches the part of me trained to receive it. That is the humiliating thing. Love does not vanish when it becomes unusable. It stays in the room, taking up space. I believe you, I say. His breath catches. I believe you love me. I also believe you will offer me up every time your mother makes the alternative unpleasant. I'm changing that. You kept her event alive during counseling. For Brooke. There will always be a Brooke, or a dinner, or a delivery that needs a key. That isn't fair. It's exact. Please don't decide tonight. You decided before the engagement dinner. You just didn't think your decision counted because I was the one paying for it. I remove the ring while he tries to answer. My finger is damp beneath it, the skin slightly indented. The wedding is over, Grant. He makes a sound that is almost a word. I'll arrange a time for you to collect the rest of your things. Don't do this over the phone. I'm not doing it over the phone. I'm doing it over the keys, the hotel account, the signature, the card. And every time you told someone else yes with something that belonged to me. I hang up. Brooke answers when I call. I'm sorry, she says immediately. Why did you send those? Because Mom told me to put the ballroom guarantee on my card tomorrow. Can you? No. Then cancel the showcase. She says if we cancel now, Harbor House will never put us on its preferred list. That may be true. She said Grant would get you to restore the account. I look at my ring on the table. Did Grant say that? He said once you two were stable, he'd talk to you about separating the legitimate business costs from the room charge. What legitimate costs? The vendor suites, the tasting, some linens. Those aren't mine. I know that now. You knew it then. Brooke is quiet. Yes, she says. I knew they weren't yours. I thought Grant was allowed to commit both of you. Did you think I was allowed to commit him? No. Her answer comes too quickly to be kind. I appreciate it anyway. Why did you ask if he really wanted you to book the room? Because it felt cruel. But you did it. He was standing there telling me to. That made it easier? Yes. She begins to cry, then gets angry at herself and blows her nose loudly. I needed the showcase, she says. Mom kept saying this was our one chance to get out of small drop-off jobs. We bought coats, we printed menus. I hit the limit on my card buying food. Every time I asked how we were paying for the hotel, she said Grant had handled it. He handled it with me. I see that. You saw it before. I saw pieces. I didn't put them together because the pieces were helping me. There is nothing I can say that improves the honesty. I ask her to forward the original email thread to Naomi and me. She does it while we're still on the phone. Before we hang up, Brooke says, "What happens to the wedding?" There isn't one. She breathes out slowly. Grant is going to blame Mom. Probably. Mom is going to blame me. Probably. Who do you blame? I look at the black screen of my laptop where my reflection sits alone at the kitchen table. I'm trying to stop organizing it that way. At 9 the next morning, I call Naomi and cancel the wedding. She explains the fees again. I let her. The initial deposit stays with the hotel. The change fee I paid 3 weeks earlier is gone too. Canceling Belle Pine costs the design retainer. The photographer returns half. The band keeps a smaller booking fee. By lunch, I have spent thousands of dollars to prevent myself from spending thousands more. Every cancellation leaves a clean, automated email in my inbox. "We're sorry your plans have changed," Celia calls after receiving the notice. "I have your green ribbon in my office," she says. "Do you want it?" The question breaks something loose in my chest. "No," I say. "Use it for someone who's certain." At 4:30 the next afternoon, I return to Harbor House to sign the final cancellation papers. Holloway Table's ballroom hold expires at 5. Lorraine's catering van is parked outside. Inside, 2 luggage carts carry aluminum pans, folded table linens, and the warped promotional banner. Brooke stands beside them in black pants and one of the embroidered chef coats. She looks as though she hasn't slept. Lorraine is arguing with a banquet captain. "We were told we could begin loading at 4, she says. "The event isn't confirmed," he tells her. "The paperwork is being finalized." Grant stands near the ballroom doors in the navy suit he bought for our engagement photographs. When he sees me, his entire body shifts forward, then stops. Lorraine turns. "Good," she says. "We can finally settle this. I'm here to close my wedding account. I understand you're angry." Naomi appears behind the reception desk carrying a folder. "Ms. Mercer, the conference room is ready." Lorraine follows us without being invited. Grant and Brooke come too. The room has a polished table long enough for 12. Naomi takes the chair at one end. I sit beside her. The Holloways arrange themselves across from us like the other side of a negotiation they still think exists. Naomi reviews my cancellation first. The deposit amounts, the release of the guest room block, removal of my guest list, cancellation of the brunch, and the end of all billing authority under my name. I sign each page. Lorraine waits until I set down the pen. "Now that her private matter is concluded," she says, "we can transfer the business account." Naomi opens a second folder. "Holloway Table will need a new contracting party, payment authorization, and guarantee for the ballroom minimum." "Brooke will be the contracting party," Lorraine says. Brooke stares at her. "No. You own the company. We own it. The paperwork is in your name, because your credit was worse than mine." Lorraine's face changes. "This is hardly the setting. It's exactly the setting. You told me Grant had the money handled." Grant leans toward Brooke. "I said I'd help. You said Claire would come around." His eyes flick to me. "I believed we would work this out," he says. Lorraine rests one hand on the table. "Then work it out now. Claire, the room guarantee is a formality. If tonight goes well, the revenue from future bookings will cover every cost. Tonight isn't happening on my account. We have 34 guests arriving." "You invited 34 people to an event that has no contract?" "We have a contract." Naomi speaks carefully. "The prior authorization was removed. The ballroom was held as a courtesy, while replacement billing was arranged." Lorraine looks at Grant. "Give her your card." Grant's jaw tightens. Brooke laughs once. "There it is. Stay out of this," Lorraine says. "It's my company when you want my signature and your company when the bill arrives. I put everything I had into building this with you." So did Claire, apparently. Lorraine turns to me. "Are you enjoying this?" "No." "You should be. You designed it." I think of the hotel room, the one running shoe, Jasmine explaining that checking in might make the charge valid. "I removed my name," I say. "What's left is yours." Grant pulls his wallet from his jacket. "Don't," Brooke tells him. He sets a card on the table. Lorraine nods. "Thank you." Brooke reaches over and covers the card with her hand. "The ballroom minimum is $8,500. We don't have enough confirmed business to justify it. We will after tonight." There is no tonight. The restaurant manager canceled after he heard what happened at the engagement dinner. Lorraine's mouth opens. "The venue women too," Brooke says. "They don't want to work with us." "You told them?" "They were in Claire's house, Mom. They watched." Lorraine looks at Grant again. At least cover the hotel's cancellation charges. We can reschedule somewhere else. Naomi gives him the total for the vendor suites, ballroom hold, and food already ordered through the hotel. It is less than the full showcase, but it is still several $1,000s. Grant looks at me. If I take this, he says, it comes out of what I saved for our honeymoon. Lorraine says, there is no honeymoon. He closes his eyes. For a moment, I see what he has always seen. Lorraine's fear disguised as command, Brooke's business collapsing into invoices, the card on the table, and the tempting possibility that one agreeable person could make the discomfort stop. He slides the card to Naomi. Put the cancellation charges on this, he says. Then he turns to his mother. The showcase is over. Lorraine's chair scrapes backward. You are throwing away Brooke's future for a woman who just left you. No, Brooke says. He's paying for what he authorized. Lorraine looks between them as though they have changed languages without warning. Grant signs the payment form. His signature is slower than mine, rounded and careful. Nobody copies it from anywhere. Naomi watches him make it. When he finishes, he asks if we can speak privately. We go into the corridor. Through the ballroom doors, staff are rolling bare tables back into storage. I'm sorry, he says. I know. I told myself I was keeping everyone together. You kept us in place. That's different. He looks toward the conference room. Mom will never forgive you. The old version of me would have corrected him. She would have explained that Lorraine's forgiveness was neither required nor relevant. Instead, I say, that's yours to live with. I take the green glass fob marked 8 from my purse and place it in his palm. The key doesn't work anymore, I tell him. His fingers close around it. Can I keep the fob? No. He opens his hand. I take it back and walk to the lobby desk where Jasmine is checking in a couple with matching red suitcases. She recognizes me. Better stay this time? She asks softly. I'm not staying. Naomi has already credited the original room charge back to my frozen card and placed it on Grant's final account at his request. She hands me both receipts, the reversal and the new payment. That room charge is the first line on his bill. Brooke closes Holloway Table 2 weeks later. She reopens on a smaller scale under her own name, renting kitchen time by the hour and requiring deposits before she buys food. She sends me $50 every month until she has repaid the hotel room and the 2 bank fees from the attempted charges. We do not become friends, but she never misses a payment. Grant attends counseling without me. He moves from Neil's couch to Lorraine's apartment after the hotel charges eat through most of his rental budget. The last time he collects boxes from my house, he notices the new key fobs on the brass hooks and doesn't ask who they belong to. By early fall, the glass dining room no longer smells like rosemary or wet cardboard. I replace the damaged baseboard myself, badly enough that one corner shows if the light hits it. I leave it that way. Celia comes for dinner with 3 friends from work. We eat pasta beneath the glass roof while rain begins overhead, soft at first, then loud enough that everyone leans closer to hear. Beside the kitchen door, the old green fobs hang from their brass hooks. Number 2 belongs to the neighbor who waters my plants. 5 is attached to Celia's key because she feeds my cat when I travel. 8 holds no key at all. After everyone leaves, I lock the back door and turn off the kitchen light. The hotel receipts remain upstairs in a folder with the canceled wedding papers. I keep them because they show the exact moment Grant's family charged me for leaving my own home and accidentally gave me an itemized record of every place they had entered without asking. Number 8 catches the last light from the glass roof. It hangs still on its hook, belonging to no one.